Streaming now on ABC Radio Adelaide. This is Breakfast.
With Nikolai and Stacey.
As you wander around the city, you tend to notice what has changed, if a new shop opens or if advertising changes or something like that. Well, there's some people, it appears, have noticed an unwelcome sign on Hindley Street, which they say references the Nazis. Dvir Abramovich is chair of the Anti-Defamation Commission and joins us. Dvir, good morning.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Thank you for taking the time to speak to us. Can you tell us about what has been seen? What physically does it look like?
Well, it's a very clear symbol. It's the SS bolts. And we were notified about this 2 days ago, and I had to do a double take. I couldn't believe that in a busy street in Adelaide, you got one of the most prominent Nazi symbols. And just to remind your listeners that the SS were charged by Hitler in implementing the final solution, which is the total annihilation of European Jews. They were perceived as the racial elite of the Nazi future, and they were very cruel. They had guards at Auschwitz, so they were the ones, pushing mothers with clutching their babies into the gas chambers. And it was like being kicked in the stomach. I couldn't believe that nobody had noticed it. And also, if somebody had seen it, why didn't they have it removed? So this was really a spit on the memory of every digger who died to defeat Hitler.
Do you know how long it's been there?
We don't know. Apparently, from what I understand from the journalist, both the owner of the building and the business owner said they didn't put it up. But again, it's chilling to think that people were walking the street, seeing those signs, those symbols, and nobody protested, nobody brought it to the attention of the council.
And so it's like it's kind of been described there's a photo, it looks like a kind of metal box, and it's a kind of above eye line on like power infrastructure, is that right?
Yeah, it's very prominent, it's big, it's very visible. And I think this is part of a pattern of normalizing and mainstreaming white supremacist activity. I mean, we have to remember that what was unthinkable 5-10 years ago is happening on our doorstep. We have all these descendants of Hitler, these emboldened neo-Nazis who are promising a racial war and dreaming of an Australian Hitler. They're out there, giving the Heil Hitler salute in front of the Adelaide Holocaust Museum. They're marching down the streets in Melbourne. This is something that's not just happening in another country, it's happening on our doorstep.
Dvir, when I saw it, I kind of didn't understand the reference straight away. And we've got a text here from someone saying, I saw it and thought it was an electrical symbol, warning people about the electrical infrastructure behind the panel. And I mean, we all learn as we go, and with you bringing it to our attention, obviously I can see it now. But do you think maybe it was just put there in front of electrical infrastructure because it looks like a couple of lightning bolts? Could this be an innocent mistake, or do you think it's been put there on purpose?
I don't think it's a mistake. I think it was put there deliberately. And we've got the dialing up of this murderous ideology by white supremacists and hardcore bigots. It is identical to the SS bolts, and I have no doubt. And we have to remember that Nazi ideology fueled that murderer who went into the two mosques in Christchurch and killed 51 worshippers. We have too many bigots with burning malice in their hearts walking the streets, not just of Adelaide, but every city. And it's something that we should be very concerned. And I applaud the paper, and I'm thanking you for actually bringing it to the attention of the public, because the public needs to know about the danger that's lurking here.
Okay, well, let's bring in Ilya Houridis, who's the Director of City Shaping with the Adelaide City Council, and joins us. Good morning.
Good morning.
So there seems to be a bit of mystery around this about when it went up and who put it up. Have you been able to figure any of that out?
No, not in the short time that it's been brought to our attention. As you mentioned, it sits kind of well above eye line on sort of towards the footpath, and it's off of some infrastructure that's anchored to the building. So it is peculiar just in terms of what the structure is, but we worked really quickly with the building owners, who, as you mentioned earlier in the story, weren't aware of it and certainly weren't the ones who installed it.
Okay, so it's gone.
It's gone. It's already removed.
Right. Okay, that's pretty quick work.
Thank you.
Do you share some of the concerns we heard from Dvir about these kinds of things popping up in our city?
Look, it's probably important in response to Dvir's comments. We also didn't just react and pull down. So, Stacey, you mentioned, could it possibly have been an accident and be a power symbol? We looked at it really closely. Dvir's comments about the shape are pretty clear. It's not kind of pointed. It's not on anything sort of pointed ends. They're flat ends. It's not consistent with a, for example, SA Power Network symbol. Okay. So we were very confident that, at the very least, it's not something that's there for a safety reason. It's not on an actual power pole. And we checked it against the symbology that it was referenced to, and felt that there was more than enough there, and the building owners certainly were happy to get that removed.
Okay, so you did consult the building owner before taking it down?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're pretty confident it was put there on purpose?
Oh, look, Stacey, at the very least, it speaks to, and I understand Dvir's reaction and certain sections of the community. It certainly strongly represents that type of symbology, and this was a very easy and quick win to work with the building owner to have it removed.
All right. Ilya Haridis, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
The Director of City Shaping with the Adelaide City Council, and also thank you to Dvir Abramovich from the Anti-Defamation Commission.